Jirav started in about 2015. Right now, we're around 100 employees, and we have employees mostly in Austin, Seattle, and Poland. We are a budgeting and forecasting software, helping other startups have streamlined forecasts, investor presentations, and general budget versus actuals reporting. We use HubSpot at Jirav in creating service tickets through that portal. HubSpot's not really built for implementation, tracking, or onboarding. And we were also having trouble reporting on the information and finding that sometimes things were slipping between the cracks just because we didn't have a lot of insight into how many projects were open and what stage they were at. So then we implemented Asana as a project management tool, which is really great for task management and seeing where things were at in the project plan. We just found that it was kind of overwhelming for our customers because they had to learn a new tool in addition to Jirav, and also it's not really built to be client facing. Like there's not functionality to hide certain tasks from the client. So we ultimately stopped sharing Asana with our clients and just continued to use it internally. So we were looking for a tool. Before Rocketlane, we just did not have a very transparent implementation journey for our clients. We knew internally the journey that we wanted them to follow, but it wasn't always well communicated to our clients. And they weren't exactly sure, what it was that Jirav Professional Services was going to deliver to them and when. So now everyone knows what the plan is. Everyone has access to the project plan. We know the deliverable dates, and we know what everyone is working on at any given time. Another thing that we did not do before Rocketlane was track our hours. So all Jirav implementations are currently sold as a fixed bid. So we knew that we were going to complete the project, but we didn't really know how long it was taking us. And now we know exactly that. So as part of our Rocketlane journey, we did implement time tracking, and now we know exactly how many hours it takes for us to deliver a project. And what's really helpful about that is when we can give feedback to sales about, how we need to price our implementations, but the main thing that it's achieving for us is deciding what the future hiring plan is so that we know as our sales ramp up, how many projects our professional services team can support and when we need to hire an additional resource. We heard about Rocketlane at SaaSter. We met you guys, and at the time we were fairly happy with Asana, but then as we've continued to grow and get more customers, we found that Asana really wasn't working for us anymore. So we started exploring other onboarding tools. We did look at a few others in addition to Rocketlane, but Rocketlane was by far our favorite, and that's why we ultimately chose it. The first one is going to be our favorite thing is the templates. So we love that we're able to create a template that clearly defines the different phases of our implementation. And within those templates, we really liked that you could make certain tasks private so that we knew internally that we had to complete that task, but it wasn't something we needed to expose to our end users or our clients. I also really liked the dynamic feature for the template where I can say kind of based on what the client purchased that there's certain tasks that client would get versus another client. We found that really helpful. Another thing we really like is the status updates. I've gotten a ton of positive feedback from our clients about the status updates. Before Rocketlane, we get questions about, well, we're not really sure what we were supposed to be working on and what you were working on, and then nothing ends up getting done. So now we are able to very clearly, one, assign the tasks to who's working on what, but also present it in a very streamlined fashion that's easy to understand, and everyone's on the same page. We've also used the status updates to close our implementations, which has been very helpful as well, so that if we look at the history of our status updates for any given project, we can see every meeting that happened and then exactly when we close the implementation and know that all parties are aware that the implementation was closed. The third feature I really like is the spaces areas. So we're using both the internal and external facing spaces. So for the internal use, we put all of the notes from sales and scoping into that area. So the professional services resource has all of the information needed about what was discussed during the sales process without having to go into the CRM and find it. And then for the client-facing spaces, we've used it for training and documentation. So we've embedded some of our relevant help articles into that spaces area. We also have a few quick how-to videos in there. And then lastly, we're also using it to manage the model-specific documentation for our customers.